Hey guys, so today we're going to be dealing with angles within a triangle. So, as we all know, that there are three angles inside a triangle, and all those three angles add up to 180 degrees. So, no matter what those three angles are, they always have to add up to 180 degrees. We also will be dealing with external angles or outside angles of a triangle, and we'll also be discussing some supplementary angles or straight lines. Now we know that straight lines or supplementary angles always add up to 180 degrees. Let's quickly go through one important thing that you need to know when we deal with unknown angles. Unknown angles in maths are normally shown using the theta sign, which is a Greek symbol which looks like a circle with a line through it. So let's start off. Let's start with the first example here, which is an unknown angle inside a triangle. Now, as we know, that all three of these angles, 40, 75, and theta, must add up to 180 degrees. So we can write this as an equation where we write 180 equals 40, which is that, plus 75, which is that, plus theta. Now when we add up 40 and 75, we can simplify that further to 115. So we have 180 equals 115 plus theta. As we know with equations, in order to get theta by itself, we need to do the opposite of plus 115, which is minus 115 on both sides. And we get 180 minus 115, which equals 65. So we know here in this example that theta equals 65 degrees. And it's very important to put the degree symbol in order for you to properly label that. Let's go to example 2, which is unknown angles inside a triangle that involve a right angle. So we know the right angle is 90 degrees, so we can label that as 90 degrees before we even start. I like to label it just so I know. Just like the previous example, those three angles have to add up to 180 degrees. So I know that 180 equals 45 plus 90 plus theta. Again, we can simplify this further. 180 equals 90 plus 45, which equals 135 plus theta. And using equations, we can find out that theta equals 45 degrees. What that means is that that angle there is 45 degrees. Now let's move on to something else that we need to do in order to understand how to complete questions that involve unknown angles. Supplementary angles or straight line angles must add up to 180 degrees. So we know that this whole thing must add up to 180 degrees. I already have 120 degrees, so I know I need 60 degrees more to find that, to fulfill that 180 degrees. So theta equals 60 degrees. And again, do not forget your degree symbol. Let's move on to external angles of a triangle. Now, external angles of a triangle are an outside angle or an outside external angle of a triangle. Now, we can think of this as a supplementary angle, which is a straight angle like that. It's almost like imagining that this all doesn't exist and we just have that section there. So I have 60 degrees and I know that a straight line has to be 180 degrees. So if I did 180 minus 60, I will get 120 degrees. So I know there that theta equals 120 degrees. So that angle there is 120 degrees in order for that to fulfill the 180 degrees. Let's move on to the next type. A revolutionary angle that is external to the triangle. Now we know that a revolution equals how many degrees? A revolution equals 360 degrees. So we already have 320 here. How much more do we need to make the whole revolution? We need another 40. So we know that theta there has to equal 40 degrees. In these simple questions, you can do it the equation algebraic way that we did in example 1, or you can do it the simple way just by subtracting. Let's move on to a mixed problem here. Now, this is a problem that we incorporate all of our knowledge of angles in order to do. So let's begin. My main goal is to find the value of theta, which is that angle there. Whenever we do a question like this, I always state that you should fill in whatever you know. So we have a 45 degrees there. So the vertically opposite angle will be exactly the same. So if that's 45, inside there must be 45 degrees as well. Just like that, the 75 up there has a vertically opposite angle of 75 as well. So that must equal 75 degrees. Now, if we use a highlighter and we highlight this, I can see that I have this triangle here. And in that triangle, I already have two angles, 45 and 75. Now, I know a triangle must add up to 180. So I can do 45 plus 75, which equals 120. How much more do I need to make 180? I need 60 degrees more. So I can state that this here is 60 degrees in order to make that triangle 180. Now we say, okay, what can we do next to try and get to theta or figure out what theta is? If I look very carefully, I can see that this here is a straight line because I have the vertice of the point there of an angle. So I can say, okay, that all has to equal 180. I already have 60 and I already have 50 and then I have an unknown here. And I have to figure out what is that unknown so I can keep going on. So I already have 60 and 50. So 60 plus 50 is 110. How much more do I need to get to 180? I need another 70. So that's going to equal 70 degrees over there. Now again, moving on, I have another triangle, my second triangle, which I can label there. That must equal 180. I already have 70 and 40. So 70 plus 40 will give me 110 again. How much more do I need to get to 180? I need another 70 to get to 180. And now I finally reached a point where I filled in most of the diagram there. But I have one final section, which is this section here, which is another supplementary angle. That supplementary angle will tell me the value of theta, which is the final thing that I need to do. So we know a straight line has to equal 180 degrees. So I can do 180 minus 70, and I get theta to equal 110 degrees. So the trick here is to start off and fill in what you know, and go and continue as you go until you get to the value that you need to. Hopefully that helped you. If you have any other questions, please don't hesitate to ask.